Airbending abilities. Flight. Flight represents the absolute peak of airbending mastery. It is the art of complete detachment, both physically and spiritually. The technique was first achieved by Guru Laghima, who by releasing all earthly attachments, learned to manipulate surrounding air currents to keep his body afloat indefinitely. Over 4,000 years later, Zaheer achieved the same level of enlightenment after losing his final emotional tie, his lover, Plea. Unlike gliding, flight requires constant meditative focus. Even a single emotional disturbance can cause the user to fall.
Did he just fly?
Hypersensitivity. Airbenders can sense subtle air shifts to detect threats, boosting their reaction time, like Earthbender's seismic sense. Air nomads shave their heads to heighten this sensitivity. Tenzin and Da both used it to evade surprise attacks. Soundbending. Soundbending was a unique ability demonstrated by Avatar Yangchen. After an emotionally charged failure, her rage triggered a sonic outburst so powerful that it carved channels into the sea and permanently deafened those nearby. The art involves manipulating air pressure waves to amplify or suppress sound. While Yangchen never weaponized it again, her feat confirms that soundbending exists as an upper-tier branch of airbending, capable of destructive resonance or absolute silence. Suffocation. This forbidden technique manipulates the very air inside a person's lungs. Zaheer's version involved extracting air directly through the nostrils and mouth, then compressing it into a sphere around the target's head, blocking any new intake. It is effectively instant asphyxiation through precision vacuum control. An earlier and less lethal form was used by Avatar Yangchen, who only removed surrounding air to induce unconsciousness. Because of its lethality, suffocation is universally outlawed among airbenders and considered a moral corruption of their peaceful philosophy. Spiritual projection. Spiritual projection allows a skilled airbender to separate their spirit from their physical form, traveling vast distances almost instantaneously. The projection passes through solid objects, water, or even the spirit world itself. This ability is usually achieved by master airbenders with a deep spiritual connection, such as Jinora, who used it to locate Kai and communicate across long distances, and Mongol, an air nomad during Avatar Kyoshi's era, who used it to help resolve spiritual disturbances. During projection, the user's body remains motionless and vulnerable, requiring protection. Misbending and atmospheric manipulation. While primarily considered a water-based art, the manipulation of air moisture overlaps strongly with airbending. Some advanced airbenders can disperse, thicken, or redirect clouds, fog, or mist through fine control of humidity and air pressure. This allows them to obscure vision, alter temperature, or even camouflage entire groups. This variant is sometimes classified as atmospheric bending, representing the seamless union of air and water principles. Air compression and vacuum creation. Advanced airbenders can condense or evacuate pockets of air to generate explosive pressure differentials. Though rarely mentioned, this technique underlies several high-level airbending attacks, from focused shockwaves to implosive vacuums. Unlike combustion bending, which uses heat and ignition, compressed air attacks rely purely on manipulated air density, capable of knocking down heavy targets or crushing fragile structures without producing flame. Waterbending abilities. Bloodbending. Bloodbending is the highest and most dangerous form of waterbending. It grants the user the ability to control another person's body by bending the fluids within their bloodstream. The technique was first developed by Hama, a waterbender imprisoned by the Fire Nation, who discovered it during a full moon when her power was at its peak. Most bloodbenders require the full moon's amplification to perform it, but prodigies like Yakon, Amon, and Tarlok mastered it at will. Amon's variant went even further. He used it to sever another person's bending entirely, something that could only be reversed through energy bending. Healing. Healing is a sacred waterbending art that channels the body's chi through water to accelerate recovery. The healer uses water as a conduit to redirect energy along damaged pathways, repairing wounds and restoring balance. Katara, Atuat, and Avatar Yangchen were among the most skilled practitioners. Spirit bending. Spirit bending manipulates the spiritual energy within a being rather than their physical form. Korra and Unalak demonstrated both the restorative and corruptive uses of this technique, purifying dark spirits, or conversely, corrupting light ones. When performed on humans, it can either cleanse or destroy the soul depending on the intent of the bender. Ice bending. Ice bending is the most direct and visible expression of water bending in cold climates. It allows waterbenders to instantly freeze water into solid ice and shape it for defense or offense. Masters like Paku and Katara could rapidly alternate between liquid and solid states during combat. Some advanced forms involve manipulating temperature itself, such as freezing opponents' limbs or crafting sharp ice weapons mid-motion. Snowbending. Snowbending is a lighter, more delicate branch of waterbending that focuses on manipulating partially frozen water crystals. It's less about aggression and more about fine control, used by northern water tribe scouts to move silently or conceal movement in blizzards. Unlike ice bending, which hardens water completely, snowbending involves controlling millions of semi-frozen particles simultaneously, requiring immense focus. Mist or fog bending. Mist bending involves vapor manipulation, turning water into fine fog to obscure vision or conceal movement. It can also be weaponized by increasing pressure or density within the vapor, creating a blinding or suffocating field. Skilled users can alter the thickness or temperature of the mist to disguise their presence, a method often used by southern water tribe raiders, and later studied by the foggy swamp tribe. Plant bending. Plant bending is a unique hybrid discipline practiced exclusively by the foggy swamp tribe. It blends waterbending with an organic connection to plant life. Plant benders manipulate the water inside plants and vines, animating them as living extensions of themselves. Because this art requires harmony with nature's life force, it's considered both spiritual and defensive. Plant benders can also sense vibrations through the water in all living things, granting a primitive form of seismic awareness similar to Toph's earth sense. Mudbending. Mudbending is a transitional art between water and earthbending principles. It involves manipulating semi-solid mud, a mixture of water and fine earth particles. Some plant benders naturally develop this ability due to the wet, muddy environment they live in. It requires balancing both water's fluid adaptability and earth's stability. Skilled mudbenders can harden or liquefy the terrain at will, trapping enemies or creating shields that absorb impact. Heart freezing. A forbidden derivative of healing, heart freezing was used by Avatar Kyoshi after learning from the healer Atuat. By lowering a target's internal temperature, Kyoshi could freeze their organs, effectively killing them instantly. It represents one of the rare instances where a healing-based technique was weaponized for execution, rather than preservation. Earthbending abilities. Metal bending. Metal bending is one of the most revolutionary earthbending techniques, first discovered by Toph Beifong. She realized that even refined metal still contains trace impurities of raw earth. By detecting and manipulating these microscopic particles, she could move and reshape metal as if it were stone. Early metal benders required direct contact, but Toph's mastery evolved into full-distance control. Eventually, she founded the Beifong Metal Bending Academy and trained the first generation of Republic City police officers, who used metal cables as weapons and tools of restraint. The only known metal immune to bending is platinum, which is refined to absolute purity. Seismic sense. Seismic sense allows an earthbender to see, using vibrations traveling through solid ground. By feeling subtle tremors, the bender forms a three-dimensional awareness of their surroundings, detecting people, objects, and even heartbeats. Badger moles, the original earthbenders, were the first to use it, later teaching it to humans. Toph perfected the art to such precision that she could read lips through vibrations and sense lies by tracking heart rate. Other known users include Jianzhu and Yun, two legendary earthbenders from Avatar Kyoshi's time. Lava bending. Lava bending combines the raw stability of earth with the volatile heat of fire. It allows an earthbender to liquefy rock into molten lava and shape it freely. The first known earthbender to first use it was named Gazan, though earlier avatars, Roku, Kyoshi, and Sido also used it. Lava benders can raise rivers of magma, create eruptions, or solidify lava instantly into hardened stone. The ability is incredibly unstable and demands perfect emotional control. Any imbalance can cause the lava to erupt uncontrollably, endangering the user themselves. Sandbending. Sandbending is a desert-born adaptation of earthbending developed by the Siwang tribes. It allows manipulation of fine sand particles, which behave differently from solid rock. Since sand lacks stability, controlling it requires fluid and continuous motion, more akin to waterbending. Sandbenders use whirlwinds and waves of sand to travel the desert, create illusions, and bury targets. However, due to the lack of solid feedback, sandbenders have weaker seismic sense compared to regular earthbenders. Glassbending. Glassbending, though rarely seen, is a theoretical offshoot of sandbending. Because glass is made from superheated sand, it technically remains an earth-based substance. Avatar Kyoshi demonstrated it once when she bent glass shards embedded in her skin. Glassbending demands microscopic sensitivity. The bender must detect and control silica molecules fused into smooth, solid form. Crystal bending. A rare and little documented subskill, crystal bending involves manipulating naturally occurring crystalline minerals. While not confirmed in the main canon, the Earth Kingdom is known for its vast crystal caves, such as those beneath Ba Sing Se, which react to earthbending principles. In some Avatar game lore, crystal benders are said to shape gem-like minerals with extreme precision for crafting or weaponizing sharp projectiles. This art is sometimes associated with the Dai Li, though unverified in main continuity. Mudbending. While it's technically rooted in waterbending, since mud is essentially water mixed with earth, it showcases a unique overlap with earthbending. Firebending abilities. Blue fire. Blue fire represents the hottest and most refined manifestation of flame. It burns at a higher temperature than standard orange fire, producing concentrated energy with greater cutting and explosive power. Princess Azula was the first human shown to wield it naturally, demonstrating unmatched precision and intensity. According to Avatar Roku, only a few firebenders could generate blue flames even under extreme conditions, such as inside spiritual energy hotspots. Its purity makes it far harder to control. The smallest imbalance in emotion can cause blue fire to dissipate or backfire. Lightning bending. Known as cold-blooded fire, lightning bending separates the user's internal positive and negative energies and channels them through the fingertips as a concentrated electrical discharge. The technique requires perfect inner balance, emotionless calm amid absolute focus. Iroh, Azula, and Fire Lord Ozai were the earliest known practitioners during Aang's lifetime. Zuko later learned lightning redirection, but struggled with generation due to his volatile emotions. By the time of the Legend of Korra, lightning generation became industrialized, used by workers to power machinery in Republic City. Misuse or uncontrolled release can result in immediate cardiac failure or death of the target. Lightning redirection. Developed by Iroh, this defensive counterpart channels incoming lightning through the body's chi pathways, safely expelling it through the opposite hand. The flow must follow a precise circular motion along the arms and torso. Any deviation can cause the lightning to pass through the heart, killing the user instantly. Aang and Zuko both mastered this technique, though Iroh warned it should never be used offensively. Combustion bending. Combustion bending allows the creation of concentrated explosions through mental focus. Energy builds within a specialized third eye chakra on the forehead and is released as a narrow, heat-focused beam that detonates upon impact. Users like Combustion Man and Pli demonstrated its devastating power, easily leveling stone structures and vaporizing opponents. The technique stems from a secret Fire Nation military program known as Unanimity, which attempted to forcibly awaken the ability through repeated near-drowning and meditation under extreme stress. The method killed most subjects. Combustion bending's main weakness is vulnerability of the third eye. Any damage or disruption can trigger catastrophic feedback, killing the bender. Dragonfire. This is the original sacred form of firebending, as practiced by the dragons. The first firebenders. Their flames appear multicolored, cycling through red, orange, yellow, blue, and violet hues. The energy represents life and balance, not destruction. Avatar Roku once channeled iridescent fire inside a spirit cave, and Zuko briefly generated a similar flame vortex after witnessing the dragon's dance. The technique's purpose is spiritual harmony, a reminder that true firebending draws from life energy, not rage or aggression. Flame divination. Flame divination makes a rare appearance, seen just once on screen in The Legend of Korra and further explored in the second Kyoshi novel. This mystical technique involves guiding flickering flames across a person's body, allowing them to trace natural chi pathways. As the fire flows, it reveals blockages and spiritual imbalances through its movement and patterns. Skilled practitioners can even realign or mend disrupted chi flows by delicately manipulating the flame, offering a unique form of healing. However, this ability is limited to spiritual afflictions. Firebenders cannot use it to treat physical injuries. Heatbending. Beyond visible flame, skilled firebenders can control ambient temperature itself. Zhao demonstrated the ability to boil nearby water, while other masters have been known to generate oppressive heat auras without igniting flame. This power extends to cold generation as well. By reversing heat flow, the bender can snuff out fires or cool objects rapidly, though this demands perfect chi discipline. Energy bending. Energy bending is the oldest and purest form of bending, predating all elemental disciplines. Before the first humans learned to bend elements, lion turtles used energy bending to grant or remove bending abilities. The technique involves directly manipulating the life force, or spiritual energy, within living beings. Because it bypasses the elements entirely, it's both immensely powerful and dangerously intimate. The user must maintain perfect spiritual balance. Any impurity in intent allows the target's energy to overwhelm and consume them.